Well, hello, this is John Paval with Access Arts Live, the weekly roundup of chamber music live streaming this week. Roughly today is January 22nd, 2025, until this Sunday, the 26th. And we have a lot for you. We have cello music, we have trios, we have piano sonatas. I can't wait to tell you all about it. And some of it, I want to tell you about it right away because one of the live stream concerts is already ongoing. But before we go any further, let me remind you, if you're watching this on Facebook, like this video so we can send you an invite to follow us. If you're watching on YouTube, then click on that subscribe button at the underneath the window. If you're watching us on X, TikTok, Instagram, or Threads, you can also follow us or subscribe to us free of charge. And in return, we promise we're going to give you more than 1,000 live links to live performances online in 2025. You can take that to the bank. And there's a lot going on. So let me tell you about the first of the things going on because it's already happening. It's today, Wednesday, January 22nd. It's March Vivo is live streaming another one of their erudite concerts. This is part of a series called Earning a Living. And it's a pianist, Daniel Espasa, and the highly acclaimed countertenor, Xavier Sabata, giving a demonstration of music by Baroque composers and how they made a living composing for the stage in their time. And included in this, I think I have a list of some of what they're going to be, some of the composers, some of them you'll recognize: Monteverdi, Handel, Francesco Cavalli, Francesco Gasparini, but some of them you may not have heard of: Johann Adolf Hasse, Agostini Stefani, Michelangelo Rossi, Benedetto Ferrari. If you're not an early music specialist, you don't know this. But here's the thing: this concert, this live stream has already started, free of charge. We put up a post about an hour ago, letting you, giving you the link to go watch it on the March Vivo YouTube page. It's been going on for the last half hour. It's about 6:30 now, European time. It started at 6, but these tend to go an hour, hour and a half sometimes. So if you're really interested in it, drop this live stream and go get it, go see it. You can watch the recording of this live stream later on. It's much more important to see something real and live now. And I can show you just briefly. I have a photo. I did assemble photos of the two guys. That's Xavier Sabata on the right, looking like he's about to be a pugilist or something like that. The guy's a countertenor. You expect him to be a puppy dog. Anyway, and that's Daniel Espasa, who will be on the piano. So that's the first thing we have up for you, and you can run right over there and get it if you like. Now we move on to Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, where we have high-quality chamber music concerts coming at you again and again. We start tomorrow, Thursday, January 23rd, with the ever-reliable Midtown Concerts, produced by Gotham Early Music Society in New York. They're up to it again this week, as usual. Thursday, January 23rd, Midtown Concerts live streams Passiones Animae, singing Parisian Sensibilities, chamber music about Paris by Telemann and Parisian composers of his time. I have to redo that because we're going to clip that out for real, and they're not singing, they're playing. Thursday, January 3rd, Midtown Concerts live streams Passiones Animae, playing Parisian Sensibilities, chamber music about Paris by Telemann and by Parisian composers of his same time period. This will be at 1:15 p.m. in the afternoon, Eastern Standard Time, 10:15 in the morning on the West Coast, and 7:15 in the evening for our European listeners and followers. This Passiones Animes is an early music group. It consists of here. Let me give you their picture. Yeah, I have the picture up for you already. These are the five musicians from Passiones Animes. Passiones Animes is is an international early music ensemble focusing on 17th and 18th century music. It's made up of Juilliard, the Juilliard School's most promising students and alumni. They regularly perform with ensembles like the Freiburger Baroque Orchestra, the Mercury Chamber Orchestra. Next summer, they'll be they're playing with Les Arts Florissants under the baton of William Christie. And this concert comes out of something that happened with Telemann way back in the days. Before I get to that, I want to tell you the names of the players. It's Nuria Canales Rubio on the traverso, Ella Cozzas on the violin, Ryan Cheng, violin and viola de gambo, Alan Maracle on the violin, on the cello, Andrew Kutrubas on the cello, and Nathan Mondry on the harpsichord. It happened that in his time, Telemann was invited by some prominent Parisian musicians to write some music about Paris. And so he wrote a series of quartets, quatuors, about it. And the ensemble will play the Nouveau Quatuor number 4 in B minor, the Paris Quartet number 4. Then they will add to that works by contemporaries of Telemann who lived in Paris and were composers themselves, namely Louis-Antoine Dornel, Joseph Baudin de Boismortier, and Jean-Baptiste Barrière. Oh, I love pronouncing French. Anyway, I'm in Paris right now, and it's been drizzling all day when Paris is most beautiful. I've never seen a city more beautiful in the rain than Paris, and I've seen a lot of cities in the rain. So this will be a juxtaposition of what Telemann made of Paris with what Parisians made of Paris at the same time. And I think it could be very interesting to you, and it's always high quality at the Midtown concerts. But the hits do not stop coming with that. Let me tell you, we move on from that to another high quality concert. This next one will be at the Kennedy Center on the Millennium stage, which is they have their own YouTube channel, and they regularly do live streaming of all kinds: popular music, folk music, world music. But sometimes they're more into the classical vein, and I always try to bring your attention to them when they are. And from time to time, individual members of the Washington National Opera Orchestra treat us to chamber music, and so it is this week. Thursday, January 23rd, the Kennedy Center Millennium stage live streams trios by Beethoven and Brahms for clarinet, cello, and piano, composed exactly 100 years apart in time. What a difference a century makes. I don't know. You'll have to tune in and listen to it. The musicians are Sarah Hahn on the clarinet, Amy Frost Baumgarten on the piano, on the cello, I'm sorry, and Eunice Kim on the piano. I can tell you a little bit about each of them. First, they're playing Beethoven's Trio in B-flat major, Opus 11, composed in 1791. Beethoven died like 3 years before Brahms was born, and Brahms lived his whole life in the shadow of Beethoven, sometimes taking 20 years to compose things because he knew he'd be judged, measured against Beethoven, and Beethoven was a huge person to be measured against. Anyway, then they'll be doing Brahms's Clarinet Trio in A minor, Opus 114, 1891, 100 years later. So Beethoven was a lot younger than Brahms was when he wrote his trio, but you'll judge for yourself if you tune in to hear it. Now, who are these people? Sarah Hahn is the assistant principal and E-flat clarinetist of the Washington National Opera, which is the Kennedy Center Opera House Orchestra. She's got her master's from Rice University's Shepherd School of Music, and she was an undergrad at the Curtis Institute of Music in Philadelphia. Amy Frost Baumgarten is the oldest of the three players. She's been the principal cellist for the Kennedy Center Opera House Orchestra since 2000. And she's on the faculty of George Mason University and the Eastern Music Festival. She's played with various chamber ensembles. She plays with the conductorless New Century Chamber Orchestra in San Francisco, the Colorado Chamber Players, the Smithsonian Chamber Orchestra, and she's taught at Wesleyan and at the Hart School of Music. So she's the most experienced of the three there on cello. And then Eunice Kim, she, how do I describe her? Her bio talks about the other artists she's collaborated with, such as Robert McDuffie, the former New York Phil concertmaster, the Montreal Symphony concertmaster, Andrew Wan. And I got that wrong. The former New York Phil concertmaster, Glenn Dicterow, of course, and also with the concertmaster at the Dusseldorf Symphony, Dragos Mansa. So she has a thing for collaborating with concertmasters who are usually, your top violinist. And she performs regularly as a violin and piano duo with the concertmaster of the Milwaukee Symphony, Jin-Woo Lee. So anyway, and she's performed at a lot of places that would be familiar to you: Alice Tully Hall, David Geffen Hall, Carnegie Hall, the Cologne Philharmonie, etc. She was on the staff at the Robert Schumann Musik Hochschule while living in Germany for many years. Right now, she's finishing up doctoral studies at the University of Maryland, but she's also on staff at the Juilliard School. So this is a very talented group of people, and to me, it would be very interesting to hear these two trios composed a century apart and figure out what to make of them, knowing that Brahms was looking over his shoulder at Beethoven as he composed, almost literally. Did I give you the exact time on that? I'm not sure if I did, so let me make sure that I do that. The Kennedy Center Millennium Stage, it's always 6 in the evening 6 in the evening Eastern Standard Time, Washington, D.C. 3 in the afternoon on the West Coast, and midnight in Europe, which is 10 o'clock in the morning down under in Australia. So for any of you in Australia, it's a convenient time for you to have a morning concert. Chamber music. Now, the next thing that we have up, I do not usually, I have given over to including academic institutions, students doing concerts, because there's simply so much other stuff going on that I don't have time to include it. But I want to make an exception for this one thing that I saw, because it's a listing about contemporary composition, and I thought it might pique your interest because it's very now. This is at the Peabody Institute, the Peabody Conductors Orchestra and Music for New Media. This is students who are getting a BA or an MA in Music for New Media at the Peabody Institute, which, by the way, is the oldest music conservatory in the United States of America. And what they're learning is how to do film scores, movie music, television, but also video game soundtracks and virtual and augmented reality experiences soundtracks. So this will be on Friday, January 24th at 7:30 in the evening Eastern Time, 4:30 in the afternoon on the West Coast, and 1:30 in the morning, late night Friday in Europe. But I wanted you to know about it. We will give you the link to it so you can check it out. It'll be free of charge on the Peabody's own website. And if you want to know what kind of music people are thinking of composing for games, check it out. I know the artwork on some of the games is absolutely superb. I mean, it's really something. And then now there's another interesting live stream that I want to tell you about, which also is not the most highly curated kind of most elevated chamber music live stream, but I think it's really interesting. Saturday evening, the community wind ensemble Puget Chamber Winds is live streaming a concert with very interesting background information about what Haydn and other composers really wrote or did not write. It's a very sophisticated selection. Puget Chamber Winds is made up of chamber music musicians who play for community orchestras and such in in the area of Puget Sound and around Seattle and all of that in the state of Washington. The people in Washington adore chamber music. I don't know why, but there are a lot of chamber music festivals and all. Anyway, so they're going to be playing Haydn's Divertimento in B flat major, okay, which is referred to as the Saint Antonius. Well, it's attributed to Haydn. I'll get back to that. Then they'll be playing Brahms's Variations on a Theme by Haydn for Orchestra, which is based on the Saint Antonius or the Saint Anthony Variations. Then they'll play Alexander Borodin's In the Steppes of Central Asia. They'll be playing a piece from Elgar's Variations and the Persian Suite by Andrei Kozley. The reason this is interesting is that Brahms's Variations on a Theme of Haydn was based on this chamber winds piece, which was attributed to Haydn. But people now think, the scholars now think Haydn didn't compose it. Ignaz Pleyel composed it. So you've got a misattribution of the original piece, and then a second misattribution by Haydn, which is really Pleyel, and then a second misattribution in Brahms's titling of it. It's still the same music, but it's different people. And I just thought that would be interesting to you. And those of you who are interested in this group, they focus on playing what they refer to as harmonie music, such as Mozart, wind serenades, and other later compositions for similar kind of instrumentation. So you might want to check that out. Notice I did not have separate photos to give you for those two occasions. I just don't have it. But I will have a photo for the next one that I want to tell you about, because we're back into some of the more what you could call curated chamber music live streaming. Okay. Sunday, January 26th, Stage Plus continues its live streaming of Fabian Müller's endeavor to play all 32 of Beethoven's sonatas in a span of 8 concerts, all performed at the Pierre Boulez Hall in Germany at the invitation of Daniel Barenboim. Yes, he is now on the 3rd of these live streams. It's not free of charge. This is the only one of these live streams I'm telling you about today, which is not free of charge. It will cost you €9.90 or about $11 for a 1-week voucher, or €14.90 for a monthly subscription, which can be canceled at any time. If you get that subscription, Stage Plus does, when they're up and running in the regular season like now, they will do 4 or 5 live streams in a month. So you're not paying $14.90 or which is about $16 for one live stream. You're paying that for 4 or 5 live streams, which makes them very inexpensive. Anyway, this time around, he's playing Sonata number 8 in C minor, the Pathétique, Opus 13. Sonata number 12 in A flat major, the Opus 26 Funeral March. Then Sonata number 10 in G major, Opus 14, number 2, and Sonata number 28 in A major, Opus 101. If you want to know about him, we will give you the link, I think, to Fabian Müller's. Yeah, we're giving you a link to his website. You can look him all up. He's a guy who, back in 2017, there was an international music competition in Munich, and he received like 5 prizes. So it was kind of sensational. And he plays with a number of these regularly live streaming German orchestras, the Bavarian Radio Symphony, the Köln Philharmonic, the Frankfurt Radio Symphony. And we're on a regular basis, we're telling you about their live streams. Okay, now we come back to another a St. Mary's Perryvale live stream, okay? This Sunday, January 26th, St. Mary's Perryvale live streams another hybrid narrated concert as a fundraiser for the Music Mind Spirit Trust 20th anniversary. You can find out more about this on their webpage and their YouTube link. This will be a narrated concert in honor of Paul Robertson. It's Sunday, January 26th, 3 in the afternoon, London time, 4 in the afternoon, European time, 10 in the morning on the East Coast, and 7 in the morning on the West Coast. It's a piano violin duo and a narrator. It's a long list of things they're playing, and it all has to do with the late Professor Paul Robertson and the MMMS Foundation. So, but what I can tell you is it's almost everything they do. Well, no, everything they do is high quality. So you may want to tune this in to enjoy it. The violinist Vanilla Humphreys won the 2023 BBC Music Magazine Premier Recording Award. The pianist was described by Le Monde, the French paper, as possessing the genius one finds in those that know how to forget themselves. And Anthony Pinching, the narrator, he's a retired doctor and clinical researcher who now directs the Pinner Music Festival. He's the chairman of Ludlow Song. He writes poetry. He's a member of the Herga Poets. So it'll be a poetic narration that he gives you. Now, let's move back on to more of a hardcore, shall we say. There they are. I believe that is, let me just double check that, made sure I have picked up the right image to show you for this here. Yeah, okay. The guy on the left is Pablo Ferrández, and the guy on the right is, he's a cellist, and the guy on the right is Julio Elizalde, playing piano. Sunday, January 26, 92NY live streams a high-quality concert of Beethoven and Brahms cello sonatas by a young man whom the French journal Le Figaro has called a new cello genius, Pablo Ferrández. Aren't you curious to see it? This will be at 2 o'clock in the afternoon European at Eastern Standard Time, 11 in the morning on the West Coast, and 8 in the evening on the East Coast. The focus is on the cello sonatas and Pablo Ferrández, but they'll do Max Bruch's Kol Nidre, Opus 47, and then go into Beethoven's Cello Sonata Number 3 in A major, Opus 69. Then they'll do I guess there'll be a break, I'm not sure. Then they'll do Rachmaninoff's Vocalise, Opus 34, number 14, which I guess will be played on the cello. You know, that's the one. La da dum, la da dee, da da dum, ba da dee, la da 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 dum, ba dee 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 dee, la da 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 dum, ba dee 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 dee. I used to sing that a lot higher as a tenor. Anyway, so they'll do the Vocalise, and then they'll do Brahms's Cello Sonata Number 1 in E minor. So this is two different chamber music concerts this week. If you recall the other one that I told you about, where Beethoven and Brahms will be contrasted in similar compositions. Pablo Ferrández he's a protege of Anne-Sophie Mutter. Le Figaro thinks he's a new cello genius. He's very much in demand, and so I think it'll be, these will, if you're really into cello sonatas, then this is something you want to tune into. And I think we have one more to tell you about. No, I think we may have two more to tell you about. Let me see what's up next, folks. Yes, we have the Philadelphia Chamber Music Society, and then one more. Okay. We have this trio of Hye-Jin Kim, Peter Stumpf, and Cynthia Raim coming up for you on Sunday. These things are coming one after another on Sunday afternoon. You could spend your whole afternoon watching them, or your whole evening if you're in Europe. So let me introduce this one. This Sunday, January 26th, the Philadelphia Chamber Music Society celebrates Maurice Ravel's 150th birthday with a violin, cello, and piano trio playing 3 of Ravel's loveliest chamber pieces. 3 in the afternoon Eastern Standard Time. As I have already mentioned to you, I've given you their names. That's at 3 in the afternoon Eastern Standard Time, noon on the West Coast, 9 in the evening on the East Coast. They'll be playing Ravel's Sonato for violin and cello. Then they'll play Le Tombeau de Couperin, and then they'll play Ravel's piano trio in A minor. We are told that this trio is acclaimed for its fresh and compelling musical voice and for uniting an immediate sensual appeal with a brilliantly crafted architecture. I do think that some of these live streaming outfits that engage in a little bit too many adjectives, but if the Philadelphia Chamber Music Society says they're that good, guess what? They're that good. So if you love Ravel, and I love Ravel, I'll tell you that, you want to tune into it, and it's free of charge, although they do ask you to make a donation if you can, because it costs money to do these live streams. All right, check it out. Okay, now we're down to the last. I'm sorry, this has turned into one of these 30-minute marathons, but there's just so much going on. If I could do it more quickly, I would, but then I'd be stiffing you. I wouldn't be giving you enough information. So we're going to keep just plowing along as we do. We're down now to the last of this week's classical chamber works. We may add on some newly commissioned works and kind of avant-garde chamber music with a subsequent live stream Thursday or Friday, because usually those come up on the weekend. Groups like Novus Ordo and Constellation Chicago and Composers Concordance, which I think should be getting active again now too. Sunday, January 26th, the Phillips Collection live streams the distinguished pianist Dan Tepfer playing Bach's 15 inventions plus additional reinventions of his own. 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Eastern Standard Time. Now, you may not want to miss this Phillips Collection live stream. It's usually very high quality, and they're all sold out. All the rest of they do these weekly concerts. They're all sold out for the rest of the season, and they're expensive in person. And usually, the general public, we don't get to see their live streams. Their live streams are reserved for high-paying sponsors and subscribers, like something like $500 or something. But every now and then, including this Sunday, it's free of charge for everybody. So this will be Tepfer is a pianist, composer, and improviser. He first earned global acclaim back in 2011 with his album The Goldberg Variations, a project during which in which he played Bach's music, but he added improvisations of his own, which is what he's doing now, but he's going to do it with the 2-part inventions. So he'll be playing Bach's 15 inventions and sinfonias for the keyboard, and then he's going to add 9 more of his own. Now, I don't know if they will be newly invented or inventions he's created, but it says 9 of his own improvisations in the remaining keys not used by Bach. So Bach only used 15 keys. So this guy comes up with the other 9 keys and says, well, come on, we got to finish the job. Tepfer himself, born in 1982 in Paris to American parents, but now he lives in New York City, and he's played with and recorded and performed with everybody from Lee Konitz to Renee Fleming. He's got 11 albums of his own in solo, duo, and trio format. So that can be something that you can really enjoy tuning into. So that's what we have for this week. There's just a lot that is going on across the board, and this is in addition to the organ recital live streams that we told you about yesterday, and also the orchestral work that we told you about. So it's exploding. I can barely keep up. It is not going to be difficult for us to give you more than 1,000 live links to live streams in 2025. So remember, if you're watching this on Facebook, like the video and we'll send you an invitation to follow us. If you're watching on YouTube, click on the subscribe button so that you'll be subscribing to us. You can also follow us or subscribe to us on X, TikTok, Instagram, and or Threads, or all of them if you like. Thank you so much for tuning in. Whenever you do, whether you have watched the live stream or you catch this in a recording, I hope that one or any of these live streams is uplifting, inspiring for you, or just shows you a great time. And we'll be back later in the week with other shorter live streams, I'm sure. And if you follow us, you'll also probably get notifications about reminders that we send out, because we take clips out of these live streams and then do individual clips for individual concerts, which we can then post. So if you know our different pages, you'll find those, you'll see those, and you won't miss anything that you don't want to miss. And you will see the things that you do want to